I'm Jeff Philbin, and this is Dinner DeeAs. Just what the doctor ordered. Dr. Seuss, that is, because today we're making one fish, two fish. Well, actually just two fish, as we're going to take flounder and give you two different ideas for how to make it into dinner. First is a fried flounder sandwich. Then we get fancy with a flounder piccata with a side of blistered green beans and tomatoes. When we want to find some fun ways with fish, we turn to the same chef that millions turn to on TikTok for a sage-like seafood suggestion. Chef John Walker is back with us. My friend, bring it in, dude. It's so great to have you back inside the Dinner DeeAs kitchen.
Thanks for having me.
I am so excited for today because when Chef John's not teaching TikTok to cook, he runs the Tide Seafood Market and Restaurant in Safety Harbor, and we want him to figure out ways to fry up flounder. Later, we're going to make a piccata without the poultry, and we're going to serve that with a side of blistered green beans and tomatoes. So, sandwich first.
Sandwich first.
All right. So what do you got going on so far over here? What do we start with?
We've got a little bit of flounder. This is some fresh fluke that we got from Virginia this morning.
Now, people aren't going to Virginia to get their flounder.
It's true.
How are they able to get a good flounder? What are they looking for, and is frozen okay?
So I would say frozen is definitely okay. There's some great products out there. There's some things you need to watch out for when you're looking to buy frozen fish. I steer away from anything that's seasoned, marinated, breaded ahead of time.
Okay.
What I'm looking for is fish.
Just the fish.
Just fish.
Keeping the integrity of the fish. No added anything.
Absolutely. I would say if you look at the ingredients, it should be the species of the fish and maybe salt.
Okay.
There needs to be a little saltwater glaze on the outside of the fish to protect it from the freezer.
Sure.
Other than that, it should just be fish. If there's something on there you can't pronounce, keep looking.
Now, what about like farm-raised fish? Sometimes people get a little kind of scared. Should they be scared? Is that okay?
I would say know your source.
Okay.
And I think that if you're buying frozen fish from a reputable market or grocery chain, they're going to have some farmed options. Those are probably okay.
Okay.
There is good farm fish out there, and there is farm fish that's not so good out there. But I think that as long as you stick to the big name stores, they do a lot of vetting, a lot of third-party audits and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So I wouldn't shy away from it.
All right, so what's next?
We're just going to season this up a little bit. Some people season fish before or after egg wash. I like to season it every step.
Every single
Every
step.
step.
So what are you seasoning it right now with?
This is our house Creole seasoning, but anything that you could find at a store like a Tony Chachere's or a Paul Prud'homme's Redfish Magic, really anything that you like to use is okay.
It's all right.
And again, at the end of the day, this is about what you like and how you want to eat.
Totally.
So make it your own.
Okay.
So we're just going to season it, and then we're going to drop it in this egg wash here, and this is just eggs and a little bit of milk.
Okay.
That's it.
And did you have a little bit of seasoning there too?
I did. I seasoned the fish. I seasoned
You really liked all that seasoning. You were saying like every step of the way.
everything.
Keep
I mean, let's
going.
put a little in
add.
here. So it's everywhere. So I'm just going to take this. And so some people do flour and then egg wash and then into breadcrumbs. You could use breadcrumbs. This is cornmeal and flour, 2 parts of cornmeal, 1 part flour, and then our seasoning.
Now, why do you like to have a little bit of a mixture there? Why not just go all in with cornmeal or all in with the flour?
I think that it's a little much.
Okay.
So I like to be very corn forward, but I think that having all cornmeal would be too much.
Yeah.
So that's it. With just a quick dredge. It smells delicious already.
Fantastic, because don't forget, find Chef John's flounder recipes at where else? DinnerDeeAs.com. Let your phone find it for you by using the QR code. Just open the regular camera app as if you were about to take a photo, and when you frame up that square with the black and white shapes in it, a link to us will appear on your phone. All right, so we've already done the dipping, we've done the dredging. You ready to do some frying?
That's it. It's just that easy. So we're a little hot here. We're about 385. 365 is ideal.
Okay.
But we'll make this work. So we're just going to drop that in.
And this is just our thermometer here to help monitor everything. And that's important to make sure someone at home.
Just want to make sure that it's not too hot because you can start a fire.
You can absolutely.
But not too cold too, because then if you put it in and it's too cold, it's going to really absorb a lot of that oil. It's going to be real heavy.
And then it's just not going to be that right flavor, that nice crunch factor, because what type of oil do we have here that we're frying everything in?
So we are using avocado oil right now.
Okay.
There's a lot of different oils out there, and they're blended with this and with that and this other thing, and I don't know what a lot of that stuff is. I like avocado
Okay.
oil. That's what we use at home.
Right on.
And so I wanted to bring that into the restaurant and use it as well. It's great too because it's a very neutral flavor, very high smoke point. So it kind of checks all the boxes.
I
for
love
us.
that. It's a very, very versatile oil because we're not finished frying just yet, but we have to take a quick break. When we come back, how this fish can also take the place of veal or chicken in a dish with an Italian inspiration. Ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz. Seafood specialist Chef John Walker is with us today with two different ideas for dinner made with the same fish. In a moment, we'll be making this flounder piccata as we've been making a fried flounder sandwich that we're finishing up. Before the break, we seasoned our flounder with a Creole seasoning, then dipped it in beaten egg and a coating of cornmeal, flour, and more of the seasoning. We fried it up for about 3 minutes per side. It's looking pretty nice. What are you looking for here?
I'm just looking for a golden color. At this point, I think it looks pretty awesome.
Nice.
So I'm going to pull it out here under our cooling rack. And I'm going to give it one last, oh yeah.
And then for a really good sandwich, like what's the bun of choice? Because that's like such an important piece to a good sandwich.
Yeah, I would say brioche.
A brioche bun.
Brioche all day, every day.
And is it? And then you got to toast it, not toast it. What do you do?
I am not a fan of toasting. I like
Okay.
it warmed through.
Okay.
So we put it in a 350-degree oven for about 2 minutes.
Nice.
And that's it. Just let it warm up.
It's so buttery to begin with. Like you
Exactly.
kind of want it to be that soft, kind of pillowy kind of way.
It's almost a little crispy on the outside, but it's still nice and tender on the inside.
And it's like the perfect vessel to take on this beautiful sauce. So what do we got here?
So this is a remoulade that we make at the Tides. It's mayonnaise-based, Duke's mayonnaise.
Come on, it's the only way to do it.
You
You got
have
to,
to,
always got
you
to
have
do
to. I can't get Blue Plate here, so Duke's is the next best thing.
I absolutely love it. And we do have this recipe for Chef John's remoulade is at our website, dinnerdiaz.com, along with his TikTok tutorial on how to make it.
That's right. We've got a little bit of greens from Brick Street Farms in St. Pete.
Great people. Great
Absolutely.
people. Now, if you didn't want to use the remoulade, like what could you use instead? Is there any kind of thing?
Anything you want.
Anything.
You could use mayonnaise. You
Okay.
could use tartar sauce. You could use nothing. You could just butter it.
Cool.
You could go as sophisticated.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah, yeah. Again, it's
your
what you
sandwich.
like. Yeah. So
Have fun with your sandwich.
you have fun with your sandwich.
All right.
So I've got some lettuce, tomato, and a couple of little onions on here. The key here is make sure you season the tomatoes.
Yeah.
You got to season the tomatoes.
You always got to season the
Always
tomatoes.
got to season the tomatoes. I don't know if you saw, but I put a little more seasoning on the outside
Right after you pulled it from that oil.
while
That's
it's
it.
still wet.
And so that way then it could just take and just be a glue to all of that flavor. I saw what
Absolutely.
you were doing.
Absolutely.
How important is that for folks at home? Because sometimes they just think like, oh, hey, I fried it, it's good, it's done. But like, no, like after you fry anything, add that little touch.
Just
more.
a little bit. It's like seasoning the tomatoes. It's those little things that you can do that's really going to elevate the meals.
I love it because Chef John's recipe for this superb sandwich can be found at dinnerdiaz.com, where you can also watch the show over again. If you just tuned in, just scan the QR code we've put in the corner of the screen to find us. Oh, that sandwich looks so good.
I know. It's lava hot, but
Should we go for it right now?
I don't know, man. What do you think? Yeah?
Yeah, you know what?
Let's do it.
You got to.
Cheers.
Cheers, my friend.
Here's
Boom.
to you. Hot.
Hot, but so worth it. Like, so worth it.
Simple.
Super
Easy.
simple.
Don't overthink it.
I
We got
love
a
it.
smoking pan.
We got a smoking hot pan over here. And so we've got, I'm going to bring this down just a little bit here. Cool this up. Now, if you're not sold on a sandwich for dinner, folks, we may have an alternative, and that's flounder piccata, which is traditionally made with chicken here in the States, veal if you're in Italy. But today, we celebrate in flounder. So why flounder for this dish?
I love it. It's a quick cook. It's a one-pot meal here. It's easy. It's straightforward, and most importantly, delicious.
I love it. All right, so what do we need to do to get started?
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to season the flounder.
Okay.
So again, this is just a salt, pepper, garlic mixture that we use, our house seasoning. Equal parts of all three.
Nice.
So I'm just going to season this here, and then I'm going to put this pan back on, and again, a little bit of avocado oil, about a tablespoon or two, just to kind of coat, and the pan's nice and hot. So skin side, show side.
Love it.
Show side down. Give it just a little shake.
Now, could you do this with another fish outside of flounder?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Really any white flaky fish. Flounder, grouper, snapper, halibut, any white fish.
A white fish would be the way to go on this one here.
Yeah. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna brown one side.
Okay.
And then we're gonna turn it over. We'll add the capers and the garlic, a little white wine. Perfect.
Easy, easy. This is one of my favorite dishes too, because for me, I love the capers. Like, it's that little burst of salinity that just kind of brings it all together, and you're just kind of like going back to the
A little lemon juice, a little acid.
It's just everything. Now, you get like the playground to work with so many different types of fish. So I gotta ask, what's your favorite fish when you get to like just say, hey, I'm gonna be the little kid right now and just play with my food? What would it be?
You know, I have a lot of favorites, and if you've watched any of my TikToks, you know that everything in our shop is my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of flounder, sandwiches and piccata. I love grilled grouper, red snapper, can't be beat. It's hard to pick just one.
Yeah.
Seared tuna is awesome. I love a nice meaty fish like swordfish or cobia. So it's really hard for me to just say one species, because I really do love them all.
You love them all. Oh, I love it. Diplomatic answer, too.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah.
All right, so these are
Oh, wow, look at that
a
color.
nice little sear.
And just that little bit of a crust behind that now.
That's it.
How important is it to not play with the fish once it hits a hot pan?
Pretty important.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll shake it and that sort of thing just to kind of keep it from moving, from sticking to the pan.
Yeah.
Kind of move the oil around, make sure that there's lubrication all around, again, so that it doesn't stick. But yeah, it's best to just let it do its thing. The fish will cook itself. You get it in the pan, it kind of takes care of the
You just
rest.
have to be patient.
You do.
Okay.
And don't overthink it. People overthink fish a lot. All right.
So what's next?
Next, we're going to put a little bit of garlic in, or a lot of garlic,
I love it.
and some capers. Smell it already.
Yeah, once that garlic just hit that, oh, it smells so good. Because while we finish this final flounder, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, a quick and simple side to serve our second seafood with. Ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. We've been having fun with flounder thanks to our guest, Chef John Walker, who's come up with 2 different dishes to make the same ingredient. Earlier, we made a fried flounder sandwich, and right now we're finished up a flounder piccata. Before the break, we seasoned our sandwich, serving up with a remoulade sauce, but you could also use mayo or any condiment of choice, plus lettuce, tomato, onion. Then we got started on the piccata, seasoning our flounder with simple salt and pepper, cooking it for a couple minutes in the skillet, then adding garlic and capers that smell absolutely fantastic. It
does.
But it's not just done yet.
No.
All right, what do we need to do next with
We
this?
need to put a little bit of wine in.
And what type of wine is perfect for this dish?
I like a dry white wine.
Okay.
So Chardonnay, a Chablis, but you could really, again, use what you like, what you have.
Okay.
So if you like to drink Pinot Grigio, use a little Pinot Grigio in this.
Very nice.
So we've put a little bit of wine in. I've got a little lemon half here with, we call them sombreros, but it's just a little catcher to catch any seeds.
Perfect.
So half a lemon.
All juice, no seed.
All juice, no seed, that's right. And then we're just gonna let that cook down. How's that smell?
It smells absolutely fantastic. I mean, and you could already start seeing it reduce down a little bit there.
That's right.
Oh,
So after this, we get this brought back up to a boil, and then we have to add my favorite ingredient,
okay. What is it?
butter.
Okay.
So we're gonna add probably two solid tablespoons of butter. Cold. And we'll just kind of swirl that in.
Cold butter for this part. Why cold butter?
You're creating an emulsification. So emulsifying something is bringing 2 items together that don't normally go together.
Yep.
So butter and cream, or butter and wine and fat, water and fat don't normally go together. So we want to slowly introduce it, and you can see how it's already getting creamier.
Absolutely. You can see all that shine. You can see all of that movement, and it's thickening it. And there's purpose between you moving the pan so much too with this as well.
Yeah, so at this point we want to keep it moving so that it doesn't break. So you have to add it and then you have to work it in so that it actually emulsifies. And we're going to reduce it a little bit too.
Okay.
So yeah, at this point I would probably cut the heat off.
Perfect.
And just let that go.
What are we going to do for a side dish?
So we're doing blistered green beans with tomatoes. So we're going to take some green beans and we're just going to blanch them about 3 or 4 minutes.
I love it because to make this or the sandwich we did earlier, grab the recipes at our website, DinnerDeeAs.com. Just scan the QR code down there to find us. And if you make either of these for your dinner, send a photo to DinnerDeeAs@Fox.com. That's what Michelle did. She's watching us in Westbrook, Connecticut with her husband, Andy. Hi, guys. She made the pasta al pamperi recipe shared by former firefighter turned chef Joe Bonanno. Michelle told us it was delish. That absolutely looks fantastic.
It does look good. I'd eat that.
When we come back, we'll finish up this delish idea for dinner ahead on Dinner Deas. Welcome back to Dinner Deas. My guest today making a return visit is Chef John Walker from the Tides Market in Safety Harbor, and of course from TikTok, where his expert seafood tips have racked up 1.3 million likes. Today, we set Chef John on a challenge to take one fish but share 2 ways to serve it. Earlier, we made and ate a fried flounder sandwich, but if a handheld is a little too lunch-like for your taste, he's now making a flounder piccata with blistered green beans and tomatoes. Before the break, we added white wine and lemon juice to our pan of piccata, and Chef John's second favorite ingredient, after fish, of course, butter. Making sure to move the pan to emulsify it. Then we got started on our side, blanching green beans, giving them a dip in boiling water. And then now we got a little cold plunge in ice to stop them from cooking.
That's right. That's right. We're just going to dip them in here.
And this is important because this slows down the cooking process, keeps all the integrity and that color, that burst there.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and we want to control the cooking. So we want to tell the green beans when to cook and not to cook.
Yep.
So all we wanted to do was just sort of take a little crunch off of the fibrous green bean, so that when we go to blister it, it's mostly cooked, and all we're really looking to do is really getting a hard sear on it. Think of it as reverse searing, like you do with meat.
Yeah, it's like that. It's that fine line of where blistering begins and burning stops. Like it's just like you don't want to cross over.
That's
right. That double dance thing.
That's right. And if you started with a raw green bean, then you're going to dance that line a little bit closer.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get these last couple ones out of here. All right. I think we're good there. So we're going to start with a little bit of oil in our pan, which has been preheating. Yeah, you can see it's nice and hot. I am going to bring this over here. And I'm going to just give these a little bit of a shake, get that extra water off. And you can hear that. That sizzle. That's what you're looking for. So
beautiful sound.
I love it. The sounds of cooking, it's amazing.
Well, you use all your senses, and so many times you just kind of think, oh, it's just taste, 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 taste. No, it's sight, it's touch, and it's also hearing it.
Yeah. It's all your senses.
All right, so what's going into the pan?
A little salt and pepper mixture.
Okay.
A little bit of garlic. We're going to give that a little toss.
To prepare piccata for your dinner tonight, grab Chef John's recipe for this and the sandwich we've eaten the evidence of at DinnerDeas.com. Just scan the QR code down there to find us. What's next with these green beans here?
So we're going to add the tomatoes in.
Okay.
And we're going to add a little bit of fresh herbs. Again, whatever herbs you like to use them. Okay. I like a mixture of parsley, chives, and thyme.
Nice.
And then we're just going to give this a little toss. And that's really all it is. We'll let those tomatoes come up to heat. So what we'll do, take the fish over here. I'm going to take some of this sauce right over the top. Yeah, you know what you're doing.
I'll trade this with you. It was getting there. I was getting so excited. I'm like, oh,
You got
that's
it.
looking good. This is looking good. You know, and besides the butter, we're eating pretty healthy too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that looks delicious.
Are you kidding me? We're eating with our eyes now.
That's it.
But we can't just eat with our eyes. We really got to go.
We
got to go right into it there. Oh, come on. Where are you going?
I'm going for a tomato.
You're going for the tomato first? I'm going right there. I saw that caper mixed with that nice little corner of that flounder. More of that sauce. All right.
Simple.
Simple.
A little acid, a little lemon.
Everything. Now you had the best of both worlds today because we had a beautiful fried flounder sandwich. Now we've got this flounder piccata. So, which one? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I think maybe both
both.
at the same time.
Another diplomatic answer from it.
I'm very non-committal to that.
But that is the way it should be because absolutely fantastic in both these dishes. Thanks again to Chef John. Grab his recipes at dinnerdeals.com, where we also have a link to the Tides Restaurant and Market and his TikTok. I'm Jeff Philbin. Thanks for watching, and see you next time with more ideas for dinner, or as we call them, Dinner Diaz.